Was going through reactions to our Bird Box episode on the YouTube, and then one guy, Shane Harrison, wrote the most topical and emotionally honest episode of horror deconstruction since Schizophreniac the Horror Mangler. The good shit.
Wow, that person's been with us for a while.
Or you could have just listened to it. I think his. I'm trying to see. I think his icon, like the image that you use for the avatar, is Klaus Nomi. I think that's who it is. I don't know if you know who Klaus Nomi is.
Hey, well, thanks for listening to us, sir.
Yeah, and yes, Klaus Kinski. Okay, wait a minute. Was
okay?
You know what Klaus Kinski did, right?
No.
Google it, Shane. Thank you for enjoying us, but Klaus Kinski got into. I won't bring it up. Just Google Klaus Kinski daughter, and then we got another review that liked this. It's by Rory Shock. It says, "I just can't with these two douchebags." So thank you, Rory.
That's perfect.
Horror deconstruction.
Welcome everybody to the Horror Deconstruction with your host Komp and
Moo 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 moo.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram and wherever else you Google our names. Today's film is
Possum 2018.
Totally awesome. It's Possum! Directed and written by Matthew Holness. Starring Sean Harris, Alan Armstrong, as well as Simon Bubb.
If he had an I in his name, it would be Holiness.
After returning to his childhood home, a disgraced children's puppeteer, wow, this is giving much more information than I remember in the movie, is forced to confront his wicked stepfather and the secrets that have tortured his entire life. I thought that was his uncle. Whatever. Anyway,
no, it's his stepfather. No, it did say uncle. He called him uncle. Well, I guess it's... I don't know.
Anyway, so this film is directed and written by Matthew Holness. I heard he was associated with this British comedy series that is actually very good. It's called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. I've brought it up a couple times on this show.
Okay.
I know you like stuff like what is that show you like? The IT Crowd? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I do like the IT Crowd.
I'm not into that kind of stuff. I'm more into the really bizarre, sort of obscure, not obscure, but like just
I need to get into more British comedy. I really only know like 5 or 6 of them.
If you look at like Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, that is a very, very funny show. It's modeled after like bad US 90s or 80s television. It's just very, very good. That, and there's a show called Brass Eye. And one of the jokes that I can say from Brass Eye is that it's like a news report channel show, like one of those serious British shows, but they're totally, full of shit. And they said there was a report looking for a serial pedophile who's disguised himself as a children's school. So all you see is a giant child school walking around. It's very funny. Anyway, so what did he do? He was an actor. Let me see if he has something to do with.
Is a writer? Is a director?
Okay, so he wrote Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. I wonder if he's actually Garth Marenghi himself. Let me see. No, I don't see him. Okay, so anyway, he wrote that. So that's oh yes, he is. He's Garth Marenghi. Oh, great. Okay.
Well, I don't know Garth Marenghi, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, give at least the first episode a watch, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Anyway, so this film is I was looking at best films of the year of 2018 because there's a lot of films.
Is this one of the best films of the year?
That's what I read one of the reviews. Horror. It said best horror films of 2018, and after watching, it's a little bit questionable. But I understand where they're coming from. I think with this film, a lot of people.
I could understand where they're coming from, but
I also think people want to feel like they understand stuff. Like maybe people automatically understood stuff. I didn't understand what the film was until the last.
Maybe we're stupid though.
I think here's the thing.
I know I am.
Here's the thing.
You might be too.
Yeah, no, that's a guarantee. Here's the thing with a film like this. Like you and I are complete art house jerk offs. We love art house films. I could say not.
Yeah.
And this type of film...
Well, I'm nitpicky, though.
Right,
sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't.
Same here. I enjoy a slow burn sort of art house horror film. Like myself, I enjoyed Lords of Salem. You didn't like that because I don't think that's not. It's sort of a commercial.
I didn't really hate it.
Film.
I don't think I liked it as much as you.
And to counterpoint this film, I would say that, remember Toad Road? And we thought that was like one of the
Yeah.
worst movies we've ever seen because it was like a pretentious art house film. And this is dangerously close to that, but 100 times better than that film can ever be. Because
Well, that was like a low budget shitty thing. This has like really high production value.
That's the thing, though. I think, well, you mean low budget for Toad Road? I mean, there wasn't really that much. The only really
I mean, I don't even remember Toad Road. I'll remember the visuals.
All I know is the name, and I remember just being bored by it and thinking it was just really pretentious. So there's a level of excess in art house films, and whether you like them or not, it's totally up to the viewer to like it. That's why they say art is subjective, and definitely why I even brought up Toad Road is because I feel like it's sort of like a version of this in a bad. Like for me, it wasn't a good film. A lot of people actually enjoy that film. Myself,
is Toad Road the one where they got to walk through the forest and there's like different layers?
Yeah,
of
and I think
insanity?
they get locked in a quarry or something like that, and these people get stuck in a rock because they're taking drugs. I have no clue. Anyway, what I meant to say is that this film is definitely an art house sort of. I would subtitle this film "Landscapes," the movie, and let's just jump into what the storyline is. So there's this guy, this very
good luck.
No, here's the thing. The storyline for this is so simple. It's just that it's stretched out visually, and I think people are supposed to find deeper meanings.
I think it's all a bunch of red herrings, and then ultimately it's like pretty anticlimactic.
A really stellar performance by the main actor Sean Harris, who's playing Philip.
Who's Fifield in Prometheus? I found out.
Who is he?
He's in Prometheus, the guy that he has those like wolf radar things, and he howls and he goes and then like releases them.
I know him from the last two Mission Impossible films. He was the bad guy in both of those. And
he's in Prometheus. He's the guy. He's one of the two guys that gets trapped in the cave when everybody leaves.
Is he one of the guys that was like playing with the little monster, trying to treat
not the one that it goes in his mouth, but the other one, and then he shows up and attacks everybody.
Oh, is he the little? Yeah, I know who he is. Boy, what stupid decisions by people in that film. Very stupid characters in that movie.
I like that movie.
No, I like the movie. I liked Prometheus. I'm saying they made stupid decisions in the movie. Like, can you not agree them?
The characters themselves.
Yeah, playing like with a puppy with a fucking alien monster. You think that's smart? Nah, I don't think so. And if you want to see a stupider version of Prometheus, go see Alien Covenant. What up? Anyway, Sean Harris is a great actor. If you've seen, I guess if you saw him in that, they didn't really use his acting skills in that film. But if you saw the Mission,
he does great in this.
I gotta say, like myself, I know you don't like it because you're racist against Scientologists, but the last 3 or 4 Mission Impossibles have been really good.
Oh, with Tom Cruise?
And,
I'm not racist against Scientologists. I like Beck. I'm just not into Tom Cruise.
And Sean Harris plays the heavy bad guy in both of those films, and he's obviously playing something completely different from what he's playing in this film, where he's playing a sort of ne'er-do-well, right?
I'd say schizophrenic.
Yeah. And I just kept talking all that time because I didn't hear you, so hopefully you weren't talking. But Sean Harris
I was listening to you talk. Don't worry.
So Sean Harris is playing Philip, who is this. I guess just reading from the IMDb. I hope that was something that the creators of the film sent out as primers for the movie.
Yeah.
I guess he entertains children as a puppeteer, and he has this puppet. That's,
he entertains them, all right.
Apparently,
he does. Could you imagine being a child and seeing that fucking doll?
I think what happens, he tried to make a children's book because it looks like and whoever made the children's book, A+, because that art in that children's book looks fucking great.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
To me, this feels like, you remember the Babadook where they had the children's book in that one, and then the Babadook. I didn't like how the Babadook looked as a person because it just looked like Jack. Who's that guy? The guy who from the White Stripes. Jack White.
Oh, Jack White?
Like Jack White with a top hat. I just didn't like it. And in this one, the spider looks even worse, creepier than the fucking thing inside the book. Although you could tell the budget didn't have because you don't really see the spider walking around. I thought you would see the actual spider.
No, I thought they did pretty good with it. I mean,
no, they did. They did.
It's a puppet, I guess. Like, so, I mean,
and it's
they did
a version,
it really cool.
It's actually a mold of the actor Sean Harris's face. And
okay.
So he's also dealing with Uncle Maurice, who I thought his name was Morris, like Morris the cat. And he's played by an actor, Alan Armstrong, who
that guy couldn't be creepier if he tried. Like, could you imagine being born like that guy?
That guy has been in so many movies. Have you ever seen British movies?
I feel like I recognize him.
Definitely. He's been in everything from way back. If you just turn on British television, I'm sure he's on one thing. Because I know I looked at him, I was like, because I remember seeing him in the 80s and probably nothing since. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, he's still alive? Good for him.
He's really good at being like a horrible pedophile.
He does the great like laugh, the pedophile
and his
laugh.
Fingers look just like the spider.
Those fingers, I think that's the whole point. The fingers.
Yeah, no, I know.
Oh, okay.
That is the point.
They were prosthesis, right? Those fingers? Because I remember when he pulls them out of the glove, I was like, wow, those fingers are pretty fucking long.
Oh, you know what? They might be. I just assumed he had freakish hands. But yeah, maybe.
He was in Married with Children. He was in the episode where Al Bundy and the family went to England and they would Lower Uncton and Upper Uncton.
Yeah. And there's a curse on England because of the Bundys.
God, what a genius show. Anyway.
I love that show.
So, yes, he plays Uncle Maurice. So we might as well just... Okay, here's the thing. This film. The main character... looks like he's trying to get rid of this puppet throughout the whole film, and it returns all the time. Philip is just dumping it. It's long takes of him in locations. Here's the thing. I was sort of like, oh, boy. Oh, geez. Watching the film. Like, here's the thing. It's not a terrible movie.
Do you remember in Looney Tunes when they keep trying to get rid of Droopy? The wolf keeps trying to get rid of Droopy so he could like commit crimes or whatever, and Droopy keeps showing back up.
He's not a Looney Tunes character.
It's Merry Melodies. Okay. It falls in the same family.
You mean the Hey Bub? That guy?
Yeah, that guy. So they keep trying to get rid of him, and he keeps popping up everywhere and driving people mad.
That is my most hated cartoon character. I hate.
You hate Droopy?
Oh, so he's not Merry Melodies. He's William he's a Hanna-Barbera character. I hate Droopy.
Oh, he's not part of Merry Melodies?
No,
oh,
he's
my
not.
bad.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I love him though.
He's like, hey, bub, what do you do? Oh, I wanted to fucking strangle him.
They had him as like he was like a Canadian police officer or whatever.
I like that
in one episode, and he kept trying to, the criminal kept trying to get out, and eventually the criminal goes insane and turns himself in just to get away from him.
I like that wolf though that deals with him, but that wolf, I think that guy has sexual assault problems.
Well, in the Me Too movement, that wolf would be in big trouble.
Have you seen The Mask? That's what they based The Mask. Tex Avery sort of.
No, Tex Avery is Tex Avery. No, Tex Avery's Merry Melodies and Looney Tunes, unless he did Hanna-Barbera too, possibly. But yeah, the Tex Avery Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood is definitely Merry Melodies.
Only on this show will we do a deep dive on fucking this character. Okay, so Metro Goldwyn Mayer. So he's in MGM cartoons. MGM has nothing to do with Merry Melodies. And then Filmation. So there you go. He's part of that, and I'm sure... Yeah. Okay, very good.
Well, Tex Avery is definitely one of the Looney Tune forefathers.
Here we are in the cartoon hour of the Hard Deconstruction. So this character Philip is just going around, and it's a very long, slow-paced film. And if you're, here's the thing: if you love the way a sort of lower-budget film is shot, this is definitely a low-budget film, but it doesn't look like it at all. They
did really high-quality shots.
Here's the thing: it looks like one of those high-end production British television, but even a higher budget than that. And if you ever watch British television, it's very restrained. It's very wide shots. There's no handheld camera movement, I don't think, at all in this film. But every shot is just really, it's just conceived beautifully. Like, it just looks really nice. Every shot, it looks like a sort of a painting. So... I could have sworn more. Really. I was watching. This is one of those films where you really don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I was googling the best horror. I just happened to see a link for the best horror villains.
I think I figured it out, but it's just like
we'll get to that. But I was looking at this thing that said it happened on a link for something that I clicked on. It said the best 2018 horror villains, and then it said Possum, because I hadn't known anything about the film. It said Possum, and then it showed the spider head monster, and I was like, oh, okay, so he deals with a monster. But he doesn't really deal with Possum until the last fucking 5 minutes of the film. And so this whole film is basically just waiting to see what the hell's going on. It's a giant puzzle where I think that they thought that the
a giant red herring inside his own brain.
They thought it was an answer that was so, prolific and so genius that you'd have to, watch about an hour of this film to be like, oh wow, everything was the symbolism is great. The symbolism is basically him trying to throw away this puppet that reminds him of his uncle who molested him as a child.
His uncle's delicious fingers.
And throughout the whole film, that was funny. Throughout the whole film, he is like going back and forth, and then he goes sees his uncle. I thought his uncle was a fucking figment of his imagination. I thought he wasn't even real until the latter.
Well, he obviously didn't burn the puppet, right? Like that was a figment of his imagination. I guess
so. I mean, I don't know, because his uncle is also a puppet maker, so maybe his uncle kept making that fucking puppet. You know what I mean? Because remember,
I don't think you could just mass produce a big, delicious finger puppet like that.
Because the face of the character Philip is the one on the doll, so maybe he pasted on the face of Philip when he buggered him. Anyway, that was tasteless. I'm offended by myself. I apologize.
How could you talk such a way?
It's disgusting. Anyway, so yeah, the whole gist of it is you don't find until the last 5 minutes. Throughout the whole film, obviously, we're led to believe that he kidnapped and killed a young boy who's 14 years old. By the way, I didn't know kids in fucking Britain when they're 14 they look 25 years old, because that kid looked very.
Yeah, that kid was pretty old looking.
And I guess that's the European genes, huh, Danny? Something we'll never have.
When is the legal age of consent in England?
Are you just trying to figure out to see if...
I'm just trying to see if Maurice... I want to know if Maurice is as bad as I painted him. I might be giving him an unfair rap.
So anyway, we do find out, and then at the very end, we see that he was not a pederast murderer, even though we're sort of led to believe that throughout the whole film.
He might be.
He might be, because he might be all... His whole brain might be altered by what his fucking uncle did. He's obviously battling with his demons throughout the whole film. Obviously, Possum being a physical representation of his childhood of this creature, spider, and the boy turning into a spider. If you look at the end of the book, what was that? Yeah. What was that terrible horror film that was like about a guy trying to come out of the closet? Remember that one? And then they kill that. It was like a guy.
No.
It was like a guy who was, I think, a cop. We saw this movie, and he was being chased by a trans woman, and then he kills a trans woman at the end, and she blows up into sparkles.
No, what?
Yeah, it was a horror movie about a guy trying to stay in the closet. We saw it. Go talk about the uncle, or give me your thoughts about the film while I look that movie up.
I mean, visually is fucking awesome, and the music is all awesome. The guy's acting is great, but like the ending is just like so anticlimactic. It's just like,
why do you think
basically the whole movie is just like his imagination, and then my uncle molested me. Like I don't know. I felt like it was like a big anticlimax, and I use the word climax very
we learned that the uncle,
heavily now.
We learned that the uncle was the one that kidnapped the kid. And
yeah, sure, but then
at the end, so all this time we figure out that he's really actually the good guy.
I know, but it just didn't feel like it paid off enough or something. I don't know. I can't explain why I feel that way, but it was like this whole build up, and then it's just like, you molested me. Okay, I'm gonna release this kid at the end.
God, hold on. I'm looking through the link of gay horror films, and they have a horror movie called Hell Bent. Oh, brother, my childish. I can't remember what the name.
We're not gonna just put it in the description when we find it.
So that's essentially the story. We're following this character, and it's just a repetitive type of film, and it's obviously done with care. Like there is no question that there was thought put behind the film. It's just that it
could have been a short film.
That's what I felt throughout the whole film.
Could have been like a 40-minute film.
Yeah, I felt that this was a short film extended, like the director's cut of a short film that should have been like, what the fuck? This shit should have been finished a long time ago.
I think it would have been like a lot better actually if it was like 40 minutes long.
I think so too. So I don't know. I guess maybe they gave him a couple of bucks more. So but you essentially get the gist that he was molested by his uncle, and he was just trying to deal with that insanity by getting rid of. But
they could have done all of the like slow build, like a little faster, and made it a little more chaotic, like at the end, like a little quicker, and then just revealed it, and that would have been. But cut out like at least like a half an hour of it, because it doesn't need to be that long. I agree completely.
It's definitely you could have cut 40 minutes out of this movie, and it would have been completely fine, because you could make.
Which makes me feel like a dick and I'm not saying
I know, because you don't really want to take away from somebody's work, like we do usually for everybody. But this movie could have easily been,
I would never critique anyone.
This film could have easily been 15 minutes long. Easily could have been 15 minutes.
No, I wouldn't say 15. I'd say it needs to be
16 minutes?
16 and a half.
I
think it needs to be like a good 40 minutes.
That come out of the closet gay horror movie was called The Samurai, by the way. You remember?
I don't even recall it.
Yeah, maybe you didn't like it anyway, so that's fine. I'm the one that cares about this show. So, in the end, do you have any final words about this movie? Because it doesn't seem like there's much to talk about.
Albert Einstein.
I didn't say final word. I just said, do you have any final thoughts on the movie?
Oh, okay.
No, right? Nah.
I mean, I would say watch
it
some cool visuals, and it is creepy. Like, there is some creepy shit in it.
But I'd say give it a look.
The story isn't the best.
The main actor is very good. He plays it believably.
And the director is really good.
He is. He's so good. I'd tell you to go watch Garth Marenghi's Dark Place before you watch this, and then be like, ooh, he's a classy guy. So it goes to that route where comedic people tend to do really dark material when they're given the chance for it. I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10 just because visually it's done well and the actor's really good. Both all the actors in the film are really good. 6 out of 10.
All two of them.
A 6 out of 10. Wow, I'm really blanking on this. 6 out of 10, just having a nice mouth massage from your uncle and his long, smelly fingers. After that, you eat a nice little candy. Those candies look gross. Okay, what is your rating?
His fingers really were delicious. They're like big, long sausages.
It's just, you could see how he was trained to do it. Remember, because he goes, open your mouth. And then he opened his mouth ready for it.
I would totally go crazy if I was touched with those fingers.
You ever stick your fingers in your lover's mouth?
Those fingers, yeah. Those fingers are like the old ones, like the old gods that drive you mad. If you look upon them.
Okay, what's your rating?
I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. I don't know. You stole the only good part.
So say it.
7 out of 10. Getting whipped on the buttocks.
Oh, right.
nine times at least, because you kept making him restart by crying out. You just couldn't listen to your uncle.
I was gonna butt fuck him real bad in that scene. And if he was like you say, fingers like one of the old monsters, would it be called the butt of madness? With that, Danny, what's the final word?
Albert Einstein again.